there was recently a huge push for diversity in casting, which as a consumer, I loved it because I was tired of seeing rich white dudes play Egyptians, you know, in Hollywood. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous.
We could never ever be ready to give up or get stuck in our first gear, cause the things will frighten you, we touch with no fear. You are wait for tomorrow until up to next year. We no waste time, we are moving with no fear. Bad mind, no fear. Babylon, no fear. Success, no fear. Cut checks, no fear. Up death, no fear. Rejection, no fear. Tell the bus driver we are right without fear.
So tell us who you are. You're
I'm just like a regular guy, and that's about you guys got me on here. No, I've been a professional actor and for about the last 15 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I went to theater school, graduated 2007, got an agent, started doing.
Oh man, you've been busy.
Yeah, so I've been at it, and it's been good enough to keep me at it like a bad gambler, the black table. Just keep chasing that next hit.
Absolutely. He's in a bunch of joints too, man. Gotta check him out. Was it The Gray?
What's the biggest one you've done?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
That was one of my favorite movies, man.
The first so far you've listed the two movies that got cut out of, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you got cut out of the movie?
they still get listed on IMDb, but
that's amazing.
The funny this is the first anecdote. Okay, so Hot Tub Time Machine. They were shooting two different storylines, and so I was in one of them, and then so. They don't tell you whenever you're gonna make it into the movie or not, right? So we got invited to like the Vancouver premiere of it. So like my wife and I, Tricia, we're in the theater, and so it's about halfway through the movie, and then John Cusack, he's like wearing the stuff that he had in our scene, and then I lean over to Tricia and I was like, I think my scene's up next. And then like probably about 5 minutes goes by, and then he's like laying in the snow in a different set of wardrobe.
It's not that
But they don't tell you, right?
No.
You show up there with pie on your face.
But so you're telling me you can still use it, like if it's still on IM, you can still use it on your portfolio?
100%, because you worked on it. Right? You still worked on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if it doesn't make it through, the cutting room,
right.
But you still get to put it on there. Like it's the same thing with The Gray. Like The Gray, I had like 14 days. We were doing cast read-throughs with Liam Neeson and all those guys. It was like a huge pinch me moment. It was like, what the hell did I have here? Do you know what I mean? And I'd worked with the director Joe Carnahan before, and he was cool. And he was like, he had to hire a couple of locals because that's the way it works. When United States comes up, you got to work in Canada, you got to prove to the government, and you got to hire locally. So the crew was local. I hired a couple of local actors, I being one of them.
Amazing.
So it was an amazing experience. And then I was about to fly up to Smithers, to like shoot on the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
And then like last minute, they're like, yeah, we didn't book you a ticket because a couple of characters got snipped. But I still was featured in like a few scenes early on before the plane crash and everything.
Gotcha.
And so Joe was like, he's a nice enough guy that he like gave, he put my name in the credits, and everybody's like, I saw your name in the credits, but where were you? My voice made it to the final cut. I'm off screen shouting something.
Was it in the bar scene?
I was in the kerfuffle at the bar scene, and then getting on the plane, in a soft background, you can see me walking down the aisle, and then in the scene where like Flannery's like, hey, if we go down, don't do that head between your knees. I'm the guy who yells out, suck my dick, Flannery. And then that gets put up on IMDb.
Right. Wow.
You
know what? It's such an amazing, it's one of those, there's a lot of kids that want to be rappers, singers, actors, right? But it's like you're living the dream to a lot of people are looking at someone like yourself. And is that true? Are you living the dream?
It comes and goes. You know what I mean? Like I think this is real. Like the life that I have really is. It's not even a glorified version of being an actor. It's the way it is. It's a hustle. It's a grind.
It's a grind.
I did. So to answer your question, like the biggest thing that I've done, or amount of work that I've done, was I got to be one of the series leading characters on a show called The Pinkertons. Which is on Netflix still. 22 episodes, a lot of fun, hour-long, procedural drama. Set in the 1860s, Wild West. It was a dream job. I was like, are you kidding me? This is my first series lead, and I get to be, shooting guns, riding horses, and chasing down bad guys.
But they don't know is that you gotta take courses and shooting guns and ride horses and stuff like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like, hey, we got you for the show. You're gonna be driving, like flying planes and shooting guns. You gotta actually go to a course. You gotta practice all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so then,
That's so dope, yo.
right after that, you know, like we thought we were gonna go to season 2, season 3.
Right.
They passed on the option, which essentially means it fell through.
Right.
Okay.
They could still pick it up if they wanted to. If somebody had enough money, said let's
Oh,
do another
okay.
season,
Right,
they could,
right.
but they
Okay.
essentially passed on what that was. And then, but then like right after that, you know, like I didn't work for 3 months,
Right.
and then another gig came along, some smaller gigs, but like like it feels like when you're at that level,
Right.
you know, like let's pick up on the momentum, and you do that as much as humanly
No, for
possible.
sure, for sure.
Social media was kind of around, like it
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not like it is today, where it's just
Yeah,
blown
yeah.
up, where it's like your next job is pretty dependent upon your social media.
Of course,
Right,
of
right.
course.
And so it wasn't like that, but then, yeah, like, you know, I booked a couple jobs here and there,
Right,
but
right.
then there was recently a huge push for diversity in casting, which as a consumer, I loved it, because I was tired of seeing
Right.
rich white dudes
Right,
play
right,
Egyptians,
right. Yeah.
you know, in Hollywood. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, but obviously, because there's the money behind it, right?
Got you.
But now there was a huge push for the diversity in casting, which is great, and because it's great for the consumer. It's
Right.
actually stories being told properly.
Of course.
But
of
then
course.
being a straight white dude, I didn't
Right.
work for 8 months.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Was
So-
that accredited to all the stuff that happened with, like, you remember they were talking about the Oscars, whiteout, stuff like that was going on?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
they're definitely
Interesting.
calling it out. I mean, like, you know, the pendulum has swung to like
Right.
completely the other side. So now we're starting to see a much
Wow.
more diversity in,
Right,
in
right.
characters being played on screen that would normally be played by a white person.
Right.
Now, you know, like it's
Yeah.
equal casting. You know what I mean? Which I'm happy.
Wow.
Which I'm happy about.
No, it's,
That's
it's,
going
it's,
to the
it's,
movies.
it's great that you've mentioned that, because we always see the one side. It's good to hear, not say good for you, but like it's good for everyone to hear that there's change.
Right.
Yeah.
Something's
No
happening.
doubt.
Yeah, it's good. And,
That's interesting.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Andy, who's also an actor,
Right.
and he's black.
Yeah.
So like, I think it was like halfway through like this 5-month run
Right.
of like not working, and then like
And
he
all
comes
of
in,
a
he's like, "How
sudden
you
it goes
doing,
on.
man?" And he's blowing up. He was in a thing with like Michael B. Jordan. His name's Andy McQueen. Check him out. He's an awesome actor, and he's
That's
doing great.
crazy.
But then he came in to check. He's just like hanging out. What's going on? I'm just like, it's fucking terrible, man. I haven't worked in 5 months. And
Yeah.
this whole thing is just like,
Man.
you know, like I'm happy for you, but like, what the fuck? And then he's like, yeah. Now you know how it feels. Come to me after 5 years of not doing that. You know what I mean? He's just like, not that he wasn't working, but he's like,
Yeah.
now you know how like how you
No,
know
absolutely.
like yeah.
That's real talk with no fear.
Yeah.
So, how do you-
He'll be the first. He'll be the first black guy to play a white man.
He took my last job.
That's crazy. So, but how do you balance that? How does Hollywood? How would you like suggest that gets balanced so it's not one way each time? You know what I mean? Like, how can we balance
Is
it?
it
You know, I
balanceable?
think it's just
Is it balanceable or?
well,
Yeah, like
it's what a majority want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like.
okay.
And also
okay.
nowadays
Gotcha.
that like, you know, behind closed doors nobody
Yes.
can get away with anything because everybody's got a camera.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
whole Weinstein thing finally
Yes,
came out
yes,
because
yeah.
like eventually and like
Right.
people banded together. Do you know what I mean?
That is true.
And they were just like, this is enough of this.
Yes,
This
yes.
has been going on for
Yeah.
too long. And so that's why it came to fruition. And then, you know, more things. The second that people saw
Right.
that when you band together and you all have a voice,
Change happens.
change happens. So then other stuff
Absolutely.
started coming out, right? Like
Yeah.
we need equal casting with strong female characters as
Right,
well.
right,
Not just
right.
white, not just black,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
strong female characters. And the time is up, and obviously that followed that.
For sure.
And so like there's these big cultural shifts happening, right? And like that's a part of its own momentum as
Right.
well. So, but I think it's refreshing because if it was like one or two people saying this needs to happen,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
It
happen.
wouldn't
No,
happen.
for sure, for sure.
They'd
But
just
we
be
got
like,
two
yeah,
people.
I mean, like,
For sure.
Need at least
flat
10 need at
earthers.
least-
flat earthers have a voice. Do you know what I mean?
They do.
No, hold on. None of you are flat earthers, right? We're not getting into this right now. Okay. But you know what I mean? It's just like there's a large group of people with a
They fight
voice.
you to the death.
Do you know what I
about
mean?
it too, man? Like they so gung ho about it. That's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's not get into that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like
For sure.
if enough people.
Jacob's gonna get some flack for that that flat earth thing.
I'm more than happy to. Hey, look.
They should make a movie about that.
Yeah, right?
Making believers and
Yeah.
non-believers.
Funny enough, from what I've seen, all flat earthers are white people. No, okay. So,
Oh,
but
man.
yeah, it's there are when there are enough people that want to see something happen. I feel like nowadays, because everybody's got a platform, right?
Social media,
It's-
everybody
it,
together.
it can happen. So, and it's been needing to happen for a long time in
Got
Hollywood.
you.
You know what I mean?
The
So
people do have a voice.
that's right.
You do have a voice. Get out there, vote, band together, burn this mother down. No, just fucking.
That is crazy.
Do you think it was kind of like predicated more on like the viewer, just because you can you have a budget to make a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of movie, right?
Right.
But ultimately it's entertainment for the viewer, like the consumer. So it's like the consumers themselves, being the public, really push that sort of movement for equality and change.
They were a big part of it. Obviously,
Exactly,
it started from like the Time's Up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you had like Jessica Chastain and you had like Natalie Portman. You had
Right.
like these huge voices
Absolutely.
that started. But then yes,
yeah.
absolutely, customers
Right.
are being like 100%.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for
Like
so
they back
long,
people up.
and now it's actually starting to happen. So
Yeah.
they jump on board.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, like obviously, it's nice to see people in position of power using
Yeah.
this platform.
For sure.
And this is also just opinion based.
Right.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like
right.
I'm happy to see
Opinion
this.
based.
Right.
Everything y'all hear is
Right.
opinion based. So be easy.
I don't read. I don't look up facts. Follow someone else.
Wow. That's so interesting to hear. I didn't expect to hear that today, to be honest. I never knew that that change is actually, going on.
Yeah,
behind
we're in the
scenes.
middle of it. Like we're in the midst
Yeah.
of it, but it's interesting to like see it from your perspective,
Right.
because it's like it's internal for you, because like you're in the industry, whereas like we're just kind of like outside looking in, and
No,
it's
for
like,
sure.
Yeah,
you know,
and this is also just my perspective of things and
Yeah,
how it's gone. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like like in the middle of me not working, like I
Right.
had to have a chat with like my whole management team. I was like, what's
Oh,
going on?
of
Like,
course,
is it
of
something
course.
I'm doing? And
course,
they were
right.
reassuring me. It's like, no, your auditions are like,
Right,
you're getting
right.
callbacks. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
producers
right.
are actually like requesting your availability.
Wow.
You're still doing well, but the fact that you didn't book the role,
Right.
is like
Causes
everything that
such
has,
issue, yeah.
like it's everything outside of my control.
Right, no, of
It's
course,
unfortunate that like my career and what I want to do and it's been good up to this point. There ebbs and flows, but overall it's been enough to keep you
No,
ahead,
for sure.
right? But like, I know what I'm in control of,
Of
and
course,
that's all
right,
I can
right,
do.
right. Yeah,
Do
you
you know
do
what I
your-
mean?
I really like the attitude that you have about it, but I'm trying to put myself in your shoes now. Like
Yeah.
say if I'm in your shoes and this is happening, I'm thinking how can this situation not let me start hating, say, black people? You know what I mean? As far as they're getting all. Let me change the lane for a second.
Yeah.
So with
I see what you're saying.
with the police foundation, right?
Yeah.
In Toronto specifically, that we know of for sure, facts, right?
facts.
They're hiring minorities over. They're trying to get a lot of minorities in the force because they don't want to be overpopulated with say just white,
Sure.
right?
Right.
And I've spoken to people that are saying it's not fair that say this person is more qualified, white guy, whatever, and but this guy is getting the role because they're looking for more.
Familiar.
Right? So how do you stay from not getting angry? Yes, there was an issue or whatever, and they're doing their best to rectify it. But how do you not get mad at them? You know what I mean? When it's a flawed system.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't. Like I agree that it shouldn't.
They should have.
Someone shouldn't get the job that's underqualified.
They should have a
But
major
you know what I
company.
mean? Like-
not enough black people, so
Yeah.
you just hired
Yeah.
Tyrone.
Yeah, just to-
Tyrone.
Just right.
Tyrone.
But
and
this
Brendan
guy over
and
here is
fuck
more
all
qualified.
right,
He's
yeah.
not gonna get it because
Yeah.
of such. You know what I mean?
And this is strictly speaking from a white guy's perspective.
Right,
Like,
right.
if you were to ask that same question
Right.
to somebody who was from Pakistan
Right.
as an actor, and
Right.
then they got hired as a terrorist
Right.
to
Right.
play a terrorist.
Right.
Do you know what I
Okay,
mean? Like
gotcha.
in film and TV.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
He would probably have a much different answer because
I agree.
of his history.
I agree. Yeah.
I personally,
Yeah.
it's just the way I grew up.
Right.
And it's funny, like I come from middle Alberta. It's predominantly
Yeah.
white, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my parents taught me to, like hate is such a strong word.
No, absolutely.
And it
Absolutely.
completely
It's
breaks
powerful.
things down. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
powerful.
so I don't hate a group of people.
No,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I use this word very, very specifically to a person. I don't hate anybody.
Right, right.
But if I did really loathe a person,
Right.
doesn't matter if they're white, they're black. It's that person.
It's the
Yeah,
person,
It has
right?
nothing to
No,
do
it's
with
true.
people.
Yeah,
So like
based on the character,
that's just
the character.
that's
Yeah.
just where my head's at.
Yes.
So if if it's just like, you know, like all these black people getting hired for the job, like that's not where my mind goes. I'm just like, look, this is where the cultural shift is moving towards, and it's out of my. It's another thing that's out of my control.
No, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? So it's up to me to be strong of mind and how. Okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue to work? And if white guys just aren't getting cast, like I wasn't the only one who. You know, wasn't working. Like I was talking to a lot of my other white actor friends, being like, "Have you gone out for that thing?" He's like, "No. Normally I'd be in the room and I'd be in a callback. It's just like not happening, you know." So it's like we were all, you know, like a lot of people were feeling it. It's not like no white people were working, but it was like it was significantly brought down. Do you know what I mean? So.
That's so interesting.
I don't know, like I know
the game is real, man.
I know what I do. I love what I do, and if it takes an 8-month hiatus to do it again because of the way things are going in the world, then that's what it takes. I'm gonna I've said this so many times because like you're always in between jobs. It's such a grind and it wears on you. It builds personality, but it just gets tiring. And I've said this before. If there was anything else I wanted to do with my life, there have been at least 3 really strong points in my life so far where I could have cut and run and gone and done something else. This is what I want to do.
Stay focused. I gotta stay focused, motherfuckers.
That's amazing.
Stay focused.
You know what? That's great to hear. That's a good drive. That's the passion, right? When you really love something and
and obviously a lot of Facebook, you know, like videos where like, you know, Jim Carrey's up there like giving you inspirational quotes. Those help a lot. You know what I mean? You wake up at the crack of noon in your PJs and you just go down the rabbit hole of Facebook. Before you know it, you're reinvigorated again. You know?
Of course.
I remember seeing The Haunting Hour too, watching this show like 4 in the morning.
What are you doing watching The Haunting Hour at 4 in the morning?
I'm always up. I just be fucking channel surfing. My eyes be burning. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, oh shit, that's Jacob. That's amazing, yo. It's dope, man.
No, that's.
But yeah, man. I want these people to see how dope you are, man. How skillful you are. So, can you do some impressions for us? Or?
Yeah, I mean, so. Anyway, my wife showed Trent.
His wife showed me an audition tape with voiceovers, and I thought they were so fucking dope. I think it was almost like 80, but I'm not gonna put him on the spot right now. But we just want him to do a couple for us, man. It's actually dope.
So, well, basically, what it is, so like when you're in the voiceover world, you need like a demo. You need a commercial demo, being like, you know, right now, 1.99% financing, you can get yourself into 2019 Acura RDX for the family, you know, and shit like that. So like you have a whole reel of that, and then when I recut my animation demo, so basically, in the world of animation, they want to know that you can do your own original stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because like a lot of times they'll just be like a picture of a cartoon character, being like, this is a new character, and like we want you to put like, and then they'll put like a character description, and then you get to show up to the audition and like throw your own like flavor and spice, and like and then they'll take you that way, but. So for my voiceover demo, like I was working with a technician who's also a casting director, he's a really cool guy. So I wrote 2 different scripts. One that I was like, okay, if we're going that way, but then the second one I really wanted to do, it was, because like I just grew up loving cartoons, watching cartoons, movies and everything. So I was like, is it like really faux pas if like I do all these cartoon characters that like I watched and grew up loving, right? And he's like, no, not if you can do them well. And so like I was like, all right. So then I wrote this, like, you know, it was like this. I needed an excuse for all these characters to come together. So basically, they were at like this, you know, like town hall meeting. You know what I mean? Where like Mickey Mouse gets up there, and then he's like, oh, okay, guys. So guess what? The animators of the world are threatening to strike. What are we gonna do, guys? And then so like Eric Cartman comes out there, first and foremost, those guys from South Park fuck themselves, you know. And then like I love so many guys from like Futurama, and then like, you know, like good news everyone, I found a solution, but I can't remember where I wrote it down. Bad news. So basically it just goes through this thing where everybody's like putting up their hands and whatnot, you know, and like smell the precious, that's the rest of the blessing. So
that's too good, man.
Yeah.
How did you know that you had this? Like, wait.
There's like 4 more. There's 4 more. It's like, wait, 5 more. There's 5 more. That's it.
It gets into Family Guy at some point, and it's oh, you the one fat man. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah, work on your novel. Yeah, it's a really big success then. And then her, Herbert comes on.
Is Chris Griffin alive? I have to see what he has to say. That's big Leslie Arms.
Eventually it falls apart, but there's some guys from Syria. Yeah, well, if you want to hear my point of view, Marge, you have donuts. Spring.
That's on point, man. That's you know, that's right there.
Do you have to work with it? Like when you work with those that are more natural to like your...
Yo, that's all him, man.
That's
That's all him. That's fucking dope.
Well, sometimes like I'll be watching a new cartoon will come out. So like I'll hear a voice and I'm like, oh, can I do that? So I like to challenge myself.
Okay.
And sometimes like I'll just get it right away. Like you guys watch Big Mouth? Have you seen that?
I've seen the trailer.
I've seen the trailer.
So like it's about these two kids going through a high school. It's a Nick Kroll show, and every kid has like a puberty monster.
Okay.
And so like the first episode he comes in and like the puberty monster's like, oh yeah, take a look at her. Yeah, see those puberty breasts and little booty? Yeah, you just want to get in there. And so then like in the middle of the night he'll like show up.
Yeah.
And then like the one kid's like, are you the boogie monster? What the fuck did you just call me? In his face. And then like eventually like down the road, like down the season, there's like a puberty monster who's like old and like he's on like a cane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he gives like the worst advice ever, and he's just like, well, Ryan, trying to pinch it back a little bit. And so I'll hear those voices and I'll just like, hey, can I do that? Can I challenge myself?
It's fucking crazy.
There's a lot of impressions. Be like, can you do this? And I'm like, straight up, no. It's like, they'll be like, but you can do so many others, and it's just like, yeah, like I know what I can do, and I can hear it in my head, and then like I try to do it, but like, and you work on
dope. That is amazing, man.
That is amazing.
Wow. I can't get rid of this bass in my voice. I can't impersonate nobody. It's like
your son's gonna love you, man. Like I thought I was the greatest father, but you got something on me that I can't even touch. Like, can you imagine like his
Daddy, do this.
his favorite character, right?
Yeah.
You dress up in whatever.
And the voice.
I hope it would be me. I hope he'd be watching one of my shows. But if not, I think that's a good plan.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like that. As a kid, I put myself like remembering when I was a kid. If I, then you take off the mask and it's, man, like you're unstoppable,
right?
right?
You see if it's your father.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
you do another voice.
I just mean like at home. I just doing that at home.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Just reading stories, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. Just even regular, just reading a story. Like that's.
I tried doing that to him, and then he just starts giggling because I'm doing a different voice, and we never get through the book. But I actually want him to develop skills.
No, of course.
So I've curbed it. I'll wait till he's like 6, you know what I mean? And he can read, and then I'll do it.
Right. That's amazing.
Tape read.
Of course. That's so cool, man.
Woo!
So yeah.
That is fucking dope, man.
That's
You're
amazing.
fucking dope, Jacob.
Appreciate the shout out.
We appreciate you doing this for us,
Man, is dope, man. Jacob Blair.
Yeah, y'all keep an eye out for him. Well,
Absolutely,
I should already be there. That's amazing, man. Wow.
So dope.
You just blessed our show. I'll tell you that.
Happy to do it.
This is worth more than I could imagine, trust me.
It's so funny because I've heard people like do impressions, but I've never heard anybody that I actually know do impressions.